Hey everybody, this is David coming to you today from Deck 11 of the Celebrity Millennium, somewhere today in the South China Sea between Taiwan and Vietnam. And just a lovely, lovely day, 80 some odd degrees outside. Sorry for the earpieces today, but there's a lot of noise and I wanted to make sure that I got at least halfway decent sound quality for this. Uh, this is really not going to be about a lesson today per se. What I wanted to do is take some time and talk to you about a concept maybe some of you have heard of and maybe some of you haven't, called business as mission, or BAM. Uh, a lot of attention has been placed on this over the last few years as uh, organizations, churches, NGOs, NGO, by the way, stands for non-governmental organization, in foreign countries. And what they do is they work using business as a platform to reach developing countries in the world with the gospel. And so one of the great things about working for me, for working at CSU, is I'm able to combine my business experience with my passion for sharing faith across the world. And so Business as Mission gives people with particular gifts and skills the opportunity to do that. Just a little bit of background. Many years ago, I used to do mission trips, and maybe you do in your church as well, where you'll go teach conversational English in a foreign country somewhere, or you'll have sports camps or those types of things. And I was working with an organization, a church one time, and their leadership board called elders at this church. And their elder board were men who owned businesses, who had big skills in business, who some were doctors, some owned their own CPA firms, and so on and so on. They were always talking about, well, what can we do? They had a passion to reach the nations as well. And so what can we do? We don't want to go teach English. We really aren't sports abled at 50, 60 years old. And so one of the things that I helped them develop was a focus on business as mission. And what they were able to do is help go into developing countries and teach small business seminars. I've done that with churches in probably, 4 or 5 different countries now. I can't share with you those countries, mainly because this is going to be posted on YouTube, and I don't want to get the folks in those countries in trouble, because what these people do is they enter that country not as your traditional missionary, but what they do is they enter those countries on a business platform. One of the people that I work with entered as an accountant and set up a CPA firm in a developing country. And so we can go in as Americans who many people in developing countries believe have tremendous skills, and can go in and help give legitimacy to the missionaries who are on the ground in those countries. And so what I'm trying to do and explain to you too is that regardless of what your skill level is, business is a great communicator. It's a great way to connect with people in many different countries. For example, one of the seminars that I've done before is on accounting and finance. Cash flow is incredibly important, not only in the U.S., but in developing countries as well. And there are cash flow concepts that people just really don't understand as they're trying to get small businesses set up around the world. And so we talk about cash flow techniques. One is on marketing. If you've ever been in a foreign country and you go into the local markets, everything looks the same. And so people try and compete on price. And so I have a seminar that I talk to people in developing countries on marketing and how do you differentiate your product from somebody else rather than just doing it by price. Another seminar that I've done is human resources. How do you treat employees? I've been into some pretty, well, let's face it, I've been in some sweatshops in Southeast Asia before, and certainly that's not the way that you should be treating your employees. And talking to the leaders, that's just what they know. And so giving them other options to be able to talk about those things are important. And then finally, operations. When you begin to think about logistics, both in factories and in restaurants, those are important techniques and important processes for people to help increase their cash flow as well. And so my message to you today is it really doesn't matter what background you have an opportunity to share the expertise that you have in many different aspects around the world. And it just doesn't have to be in teaching English or teaching in sports camps. For those of you who are seeing this video and you're going into MSOM 602, which is our servant leadership course, think about that as an opportunity to serve, to show leadership as well. And it really doesn't matter whether you're in a graduate course or an undergraduate course. All those things apply. And so I just wanted to share with you this concept today in a way that maybe you haven't thought of before, or maybe you are. And if you are, bully for you. I'd love to hear from you on some of the things that you're doing to be able to connect what you know, your skills, your expertise in business to help apply it for good around the world, and hopefully to be able to share it from a faith perspective as you go forward. All right, have a great day. Talk with you soon.